Scoop doo, blah-ba-dee blue, yeah, yeah, yeah. Scoop dee, oh yeah.
Talking to some dogs. No, I'm okay. I had caffeine already. It's such a cute sweater, but I feel like in a chair, I'm just going to look like a tank. Sometimes those make you just look like a box, but take care. It's the best time of the year. Oh, yeah, I have to do my check. Is there a place around here?
Jackie, we're live. We're live.
Oh my God.
We're live.
Delete the part about the
Can I just bleep so they don't know what you're checking?
Yes.
Do you need me to bleep when I just explained it?
Yes, of course. Anytime anybody says needs to be bleeped.
Well, stop saying it.
Okay. Anytime anyone says...
Just say American.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. This is doing the same feedbacky thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a goblin mug? So cute.
If you want one, you could go to rickglassman.com and pick one up at the store.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I wanted to make sure my hair didn't look like a bouffant, and it does.
We're live.
Okay, we're live.
We're live. I was thinking, because last year I did 8 nights at TYSO.
Right.
And you were a star on it.
Stop it.
Okay.
Happy Hanukah, Glenn. Happy Hanukah, one and all.
You ready?
It makes me sick. Should I do lipstick? Red lips?
Yes.
Okay. Am I going to look like a cashew, or do I need to sit up a little? Just want to know if I want to be sitting up higher. How's my lips?
Good, but I think maybe you should be sitting up a little more.
You idiot. Oh, do I say we're back?
You don't, apparently, but everyone else does.
Okay, shush. And we're back.
Okay, great. We're sure we're not using that first one. And I guarantee you, somewhere in this, we're going to hear the word but bleep that one. So I did want to do 8 nights at TYSO again because who has the time?
Everybody.
Well, I got good news.
Forget it.
It's a lot of work. This is a lot of work. And also, it's tough to get people to commit because of COVID.
I notice you do an 11 o'clock the night before vibe, which is risky but so smart because you're like, can you just do tomorrow? And that's just a hard yes or no. There's so little chance of cancellation at that point because you
right.
know.
Well, where you reduce the risk of cancellation, you increase the nose. So it wasn't a conscious decision.
But only kind of in LA because I feel like there is such a massive amount of cancellation in LA that I bet if you actually put it on a graph, it wouldn't even increase the nose that much. Like putting the nose in the same space as the cancellations, meaning...
Bring this closer to you, will you?
Yes. Like if you asked 20 people and they said yes, I feel like 11 of them, by the time it came down to it, couldn't anyway.
I'd say...
And those same 9 that were available would be available the next day.
Well, we'll find out. And then I guess the pitch would be if we were doing it we release this in a month and we do a study for the next month.
That's
and we
right.
See who cancels.
And that is certainly worth all our time.
People don't cancel as much as reschedule. Do you consider a cancel the same as a reschedule?
No, you're right. I think I was saying the same, but it's like there's so much, also especially with COVID, there's so much moving around. It's just like nothing is in stone. Nothing really matters. Everything can happen 3 weeks from now. Tuesday is Friday. It doesn't matter.
Let me tell you what grinds my gears.
Please.
So-and-so's coming over at What's It Who's It, right? Mm-hmm. And now it's an hour before What's It Who's It, and now I'm turning on the lights, I'm wiping down the stuff
I already
again.
don't like this.
And then I get a text thinking like, hey, I'm going to be a little bit late, and I get, hey, I'm so sorry, could we blah, blah, blah. And I always say...
Could we blah, 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 could we reschedule?
Could we reschedule, or, could we reschedule? And what am I going to say? No? Never ask someone, can we reschedule? That's like asking somebody, can I use the bathroom?
Right.
Just say, I'm going to the bathroom, I can't make it. Happens all the time.
Right.
Whenever I have a sketch, somebody's coming, and my dad gets excited when it's like somebody cool, and they, oh, so-and-so's coming, I always say, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. Oh, I do that with every single thing in my career and life. I don't talk about anything until it's the realest.
I think that's a good move. People have implemented that with a pregnancy.
Well, yes, Jews especially. We never, my whole life, that's not new. It was like you. In fact, with Judaism, you're not even supposed to get a gift till the baby's born because bad luck.
Tell me if you think this correlates. The Jewish people do not acknowledge publicly their child before birth, and they overcompensate after.
Fair. I think everybody overcompensates after, but especially Jews. Yeah, we really, especially those moms, they love their baby boys.
Yeah.
Looking at
are you talking about my mom, or are you talking about Jewish moms?
You. No.
And they're just, he's fabulous, he's fantastic, he's extraordinary, you have to watch his podcast. Thanks, Mom.
She's one of the greatest that ever was, and we both know it. Wait, I was going to say something before when you were talking about...
8 nights of TYSO, rescheduling, canceling.
Oh, just this business and never getting excited about things until they happen. And in fact, I've had people in my life... boyfriends and friends and family members go like...
I thought you were going to say rats.
I was going to say relatives. Rats constantly coming up to me on their hind legs, giving me the what for. Well, it's like constantly telling me that like it's super negative. Like they'll be like, how was that audition? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't think about it after it's done. And then if they want the truth is generally like, oh, I sent in the tape and didn't hear anything, and that's what 100% happens.
100% of the time.
What happens when it feels like it has a negative tilt, and it's truly just the reality of it, and it's so hard to explain that to someone who doesn't do this every single day and set themselves up, obviously, for all the wonderful things that happen in our careers, and doesn't set themselves up for rejection, 7 to 10 times a week.
Well, I think we could figure out a way of explaining to people right here, live, on the air, so anybody else who's watching this who's like, I want to be an actor, but I don't know how to tell my family that I think that the audition was fine and they want to hear something great. Here it is. Do you have any...
It's that the audition was fine and they want to hear something great, or it's that if it was great, then they get excited and then you never hear anything anyway. There's so much expectation measuring that has to go on, both internally and with anybody you share it with. So I've just pretty much gone for the last 20 years. Like, I just don't talk about it ever.
Yeah, it's I agree. It's not that I don't want to think about it or I think it went bad. I know it went great.
Yeah, duh. 100% of the time nailing.
But if you're not going to get it, and the odds are you're not, why, there's so many things. I do remember, and I won't say what it was. You already know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
There was one that you had a hard time mitigating that expectation.
For my own.
When we were dating. I remember the night very well. I remember the project. I remember where we were going to eat.
Can't you just say? I don't care.
Yeah, I guess I thought maybe...
And if I'm really offended, I'll be like, can you not put that on the podcast?
It was for the
Oh, bleep!
Frozen.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
It was down to you and Adina Menzel.
That's right.
And we were on our way to Casa Vega. And my mom and dad and John and Sullivan, I remember Esther was there. There was a group of people for whatever reason.
And I sat in like silence in the corner. I remember where I sat in that booth.
I remember where you sat, how you sat in the car before we went in.
Oh no, was I crying?
Yeah. Well, no, when I say yeah, I don't mean yeah, like tears like that. Like you were upset and you were saying like, I mean, I have to go in. I know I have to go in. I don't want to be this way, but I've just found out and this is really tough. And I was like...
I think maybe the good
timing.
news was that hopefully most of those people didn't know about it, because then can you imagine
Another reason you don't want to tell people.
slathering on top of that pain of potentially the biggest job that could have ever crossed my
relatives?
Rats. So if you can imagine adding on top of that, having to then explain to this group of loving people who I enjoy so much, just like what is going on and how devastating it is. I mean, I've had times, I'll want to go back to the Frozen thing, but I've had times like 2 months later, someone being like, whatever happened with that Amy Schumer movie? And it was like, well, you would have heard if I was
I directed it.
second to Amy in an Amy Schumer movie. That would have been, you would have heard by now. So it's like, I know that it always comes from love, but it's like sort of salting a wound that as performers we try to just like ignore that there's even a wound and be like, it's fine, I don't care at all. And then someone's like, what about that? But the Frozen thing was wild because I always thought that it was like that I was really up for it. But that's like not something you ever know for a fact. And then when I got a new agent, the casting director called my agent called Disney Casting to be like, hey, we want to set up a general. You should know about this girl. She makes music. She's a comic, whatever, just pitching me to Disney. And the casting director at Disney was like, we know Jackie Tohn. It was between her and Adina for Frozen. And then it was when I sort of conclusively was like, oh, that really was as real as I thought it was.
You weren't sure if it was really down to you two.
Yeah, like that was sort of the word, that it was like, yeah, they love you, and it's, they're making up their mind, but you never really know. And then it sort of got like, yeah, that was real. It was nuts.
I do want to set...
This is kind of funny, sorry.
Could I set the room real quick?
Sure. So anyway, are those the sweatpants from the Marshall carpet commercial?
The one and only.
Wait, I want a fire.
Okay. Well, snap.
Me?
No, I was talking to him.
Oh, James, would you snap, please?
It's good.
Oh, it's perfect. I was getting chilly, too, so it's extra good.
Are you cold, though? How are you out there?
I'm good. This is really helping.
I saved that since the last 8 nights of TYSO, and when I was bringing it up, you guys, it looked like it was magic, but this was 45 minutes of setting up.
45.
And me setting that up, if I came back right away, I had soot all over my nose. It was so terrifying. We'll show a clip. What were you going to say?
Oh, I have no idea. We moved too quickly. If I don't say it, he's not kidding. That was 45 minutes of setup. The amount of shit I've had to say since then is a lot.
Priceless. So we're at home. You know me. Mm-hmm. I'm at home sometimes.
Of course.
And in the basement looking at stuff. I'm mailing a lot of stuff back for my walls and cups and
the like.
And my dad had restaurants. Shout out to Flo and Eddie's. And there were sports bars and grills. And there was a lot of sports memorabilia. And down there for 30 plus years is this Wayne Gretzky authentic jersey in this big framed box.
Wayne Gretzky missed all the shots you don't take.
Jimmy Dugan.
Okay.
Are you quoting The Office, or are you quoting Steve Carell, or are you quoting Wayne Gretzky?
Wayne Gretzky.
So do you not know about The Office quote?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what you were. Fucking. So there's a.
I was part of a songwriting camp many years ago, and the head guy of the whole thing, said, "You miss all the shots you don't take," and I found it very charming. And then I realized, oh, that quote's been attributed to 90 million people, and everybody in the planet had heard it except me up until that point.
In The Office, on the whiteboard, it says, "You miss all the shots you don't take." Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott, because Michael Scott's quoting what he said. So in this box, my dad's like, "I'll wear it. What are we doing with this thing? I'll wear it. It's a cool jersey." So my dad's gonna be wearing this jersey, but I took it off the box frame, and behind it there's just a little piece of cardboard that it was sewn into. And my mom's like, I could use something with that frame. I'm like, Mom, you're not using this frame. You don't need the frame. She goes, why? It's a bad frame. It's a bad frame. And she goes, okay. And then I break the frame down, and then she sees, save the cardboard. I'm like, what are you going to do with the cardboard? She's like, I could do my crafts on it. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then cut to, I just have this in my...
365 years later, you've kept a cardboard 4-foot tall. Where did you keep it? Was it broken down and then you rebuilt it?
I didn't
Stop.
want to. I didn't want to build it. So I have a storage space. That's about a fourth of my storage
Stop.
space.
Cost you $108 a month to keep this puppy alive. Just for that bit we did, worth it. Oh, well now it's in the way. Wasn't that the whole bit?
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm just gonna leave all that in.
Oh my God, that's gonna be exhausting for the viewers. God bless. Keep it in. I wonder what they're saying.
Is this dangerous?
What, putting the fire in the fire? No. That's a perfect place for fire. That was so loud.
Sorry.
When you moved, did you have to get...
I'm so glad we know each other. What if this was like a big, like, I got Robert Herjavec, who's like my number one get I want right now from Shark Tank. And he,
I love
I have him, and I forget that he doesn't know who I am.
And it's just a disaster. He's tripping over your slides on the way out. Did you, when you moved, was like a balcony was like number one on the list so you could keep doing the pod during the pandy?
I mean, I know how I could answer your question. Yeah, I definitely wanted a balcony. Mm-hmm. But what I'm hearing is it was a number one on my list.
Okay,
and
right.
100%.
I know better.
All I needed.
Number one.
It wasn't number one on the list. I would have been comfortable with a space that allowed Tiger Belly has in their garage, a big garage, and it's down the middle is this big plexiglass window. So I was open to, if there were a guest room off to the side, we didn't have to go into the house.
Yeah. Garage feels like it'd be challenging. What with other people living there and cars coming and going?
They converted their garage into
got it.
a studio space.
Okay.
So you could just go right in,
Okay.
Oh, man. That was a lot.
It was so worth it.
Do you think?
8 nights at TYSO? Of course. Our cardboard, I was going to call it flamethrower. I got to go.
So everybody, I don't know how I'm going to piece this together, but after I was explaining to you at a snap, and then you go throw up in your mouth or whatever, I was like, all right, I want to keep all this in. So then I had to calculate, if we're keeping that in, the transition isn't the same. So where are we going? And now I'm trying to figure it out while also playing with this, and I'm doing it, and I'm laughing, and then you go, you're keeping that in? People are going to be exhausted. And I went, I'm doing it again. I'm back to the old Rick. Because people think I've grown, but I just edit out the shit.
Correct. Correct.
I mean, you can't post this stuff publicly.
What was it going to be?
I was just me. I was just a big dick. All right. For me, and you could use this too, but for me, I just need a second. My adrenaline's going.
I can feel it.
And if the cameras weren't on, I'd say, I'm having such a good time with you.
Correct.
Cameras are on, I'm worried. I don't know if I want people to see this.
Correct.
So let me just take a sip.
Left my seltzer in the car. That was a mistake. You asked if I wanted a nice coffee. I said no, but then you didn't say, oh, well, what about some water? What a Bissell something? And, I don't know what the snaps are coming into or going out of, but I would like a drink.
Well, when I snapped, a bottle of seltzer went on the table, but since you didn't take it, I snapped it away.
I see.
And boy, are my fingers getting a little tired.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackie, please tell me that what I'm doing is okay.
100%.
This podcast is getting easier and then harder and easier and then harder.
I love it.
You're tucked in a corner. People think you're uncomfortable, but I bet you're okay.
I'm super comfortable. Okay. I dressed really appropriately for the occasion, and I'm proud of myself.
Give me compliments.
Oh, no. I was giving myself compliments.
All right, I'll give me compliments.
Please do.
Rick, you're doing a good job.
You're doing a great job.
Jackie?
I mean,
Jackie.
It's Jackie. Yeah, that's correct.
I have a thing that I'm surprised. I thought you watched all my podcasts where I've
watched quite a few.
Where you say to somebody when you're trying to control a room while also make sure that you know who you're speaking to. The way you do it is you say their name to get their attention. Then you ask, do I have it right? And once they say yes, you assert yourself. So it's period, question mark, assertion.
Great.
Jackie?
Yeah.
Jackie. So that's just a fun little cadence.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about selling shirts. Where people could have their own name on it. And it says Mike.
I am in a courtyard of an apartment building, so I am going to be distracted by the goings-on now.
Is that like a saying?
No, I'm in the courtyard of an
literally.
apartment building, and I'm going to be distracted by the goings-on.
Okay.
A woman was just talking to, it sounded like a cat, and I turned. I
The woman, it sounded like the woman was speaking to a cat, or she sounded like she was a cat?
speaking to.
Let's get her on.
Oh, it was like that, but it didn't sound doggish.
Okay, what would a doggish sound like?
Similar, but it wasn't. She wasn't. I think with a cat, you don't wait for responses. Like with a dog, you're like, "You want to come here?" Da 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 da. But with a cat, you're like, "Oh, you're doing your own fucking thing."
Okay.
So it was more observations as opposed to questions.
Could you talk to me for 10 seconds like a cat?
Okay. Also, I'm going to say I didn't really hear what she said because there's trucks going by and I have headphones on. So it was all like tone and cadence. It was like, are you in a circle? It was like that. Like,
Now talk to me like a dog.
Oh, I love you so much, I'm gonna bite your ears. Your head is small, and I love you so much. You are living on a cloud in my heart. You are living on a cloud in my brains. I love to cuddle you at night in bed. They say don't sleep with your dog, but I do, because it's about my joy too. I'll always sleep in the same bed with Glenn.
Do you want some coffee?
No, I'm good. Can I have some water though?
I only have room temp.
I only want room temp. I'm in a fucking ice cube out here.
Should we do more holiday themed?
Well, I have candles for you for your menorah,
Thank you.
and I have a mini menorah.
We were
Feels
talking.
like we have to do the mini menorah.
We were talking last night about how the candles fool you. A box of Hanukah candles fool you.
A box of Hanukah candles fools you because you asked me to bring you over just the last night, and that's like
just one of 8.
one night,
1/8 of a box.
One night. No, it's like a third of a box because the last night is 9 candles. First night, 2 candles. Second night, 3, and so on. Last night you're working
So
with
on.
9.
I don't get the pattern yet.
Stop. And then on the 8th night, you got 8 candles and the shamish. Do you call it shamish or shamus?
I mean, I'm in the wrong. I just call it the middle candle.
It's not even the middle on mine. It's on the left.
Those are fancy people
And
things.
I always thought the shamus was the leader, and I've learned now that it's the servant. It's the candle that works for the other candles.
Oh, you actually thought leader like in charge of.
Sort of. Like I never thought that much about it, but I thought if anything, this is the main candle. It's the opposite. It's the servant candle.
Do you have a busy day today? Because I don't want to blow your mind if you have a lot to do.
I mean, I do have a lot to do, but I feel like I'll be able to
What do you think? You think I should blow her mind? What do you guys think?
blow her mind. Blow her mind.
You know what the difference between a leader and a servant is?
James, chant with me. He's not just going to tell me if I'm just chanting myself. 2, 3. Blow her. Thanks. Mine. Thank you. Blow
Jackie,
her
you're costing me
mind.
money here.
Okay.
That's another $200.
Oh my God. Seriously?
No. The difference between a leader and a servant, do you know what it is?
No.
Perspective.
Fair enough.
You know, a lot of people would say that the president is the leader of the Americas. Now, I don't mean this particular president. You know who? What's his name? Edit that out. Smog?
Tawny Trunk.
Tiny trunk. But others would say, no, they are the ultimate servant to the country. See, to be in charge is to not just lead, but to represent how they need to follow.
Sure.
You know, an analogy would be, if you're going to manage a restaurant, you have to understand all of these positions. You have to be able to help in every aspect along the way. If your host leaves, is the manager going to say, "I'm a leader, not a servant"? I'm a middle candle. I'm a left. No, you're a host.
Remember when you worked in a restaurant?
Poopy, 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 poopies. Poopies, poopies, poopies.
Poopy, 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 poopies. Poopy, 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 poopy.
I don't know if I found it, but somewhere I do have a clip of me in the restaurant.
I just remembered like coming to see you at that restaurant. And that was a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
But just like experientially a lifetime. Like I forgot that was ever part of either of our lives.
Would you go back 10 years, have less money, have less success, but your joints are better, or whatever it is for a woman, better tits or face or something? No, I mean, I think everything's great, but you get older, things happen.
No.
What if you know everything you know now, then?
It's a hard one because I feel super lucky to be in the place I'm in and the body I'm in and all the things. Like I feel for my age, like I'm kind of, it feels good. So,
Everyone would agree. What do you guys think?
Yeah, James.
She looks all right for 28. No,
that's really nice.
she's not 28.
James keeps creeping closer and closer with his lips out.
You're going to have to PayPal me, Jackie. Okay? But go on. You were telling me about your body and you're lucky.
No, just that I wouldn't, like, I think 10 years ago, I was like, my identity was so like quirky best friend, weird girl. And as I've gotten older, I still identify with that person, but I feel like I'm standing so much more in my own. No, like I can have my thing. I don't have to be like the friend who's funny and weird. Like I can be standing by myself somewhere and feel comfortable enough. And I did not feel that 10 years ago.
Would you say you went from servant to leader?
I would.
Now,
I would say I went from shamus. I was going to say shamus, from shamus on the left to shamus in the middle. But I think shamus on the left, we both agree, is classier.
Yeah.
But shamus in the middle is more just in the middle. But again, servant.
Yeah. Look at Malcolm, for example.
I always have.
Also, take a look. We have special guest Elijah.
Eliyahu
You just burped.
Hanavi. So quiet, right?
What are we?
Eliyahu Matbilin. Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
Jackie, it's good to have you back. I feel like, all right, let's start the podcast now.
Got our little vibes out. I just know I have a tiny menorah in my bag, and you haven't asked me to take it out.
I
so
think
this
your
is
menorah is
so
beautiful.
exciting. It's very small.
Well, it's how you use it.
That's right.
Shall we?
I'm gonna need your
matches.
Yep.
Are we gonna light it now? It's
I know,
dark
it's-
enough, right? Did you just buy that? Why do you have the menorah on you?
Because it's a cutie. Because I knew I was coming for 8 days at TYSO, and
Oh.
I was like,
No, I'm not doing 8 nights of TYSO. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say. I'm saying I didn't do 8 nights of TYSO this year because it's so much work. I'm only doing one holiday episode.
and it's this.
This is it.
Well, then I'm extra glad I brought the menorah.
And the Christmas tree.
Look how cute these are.
Tom, maybe if we could put on this Christmas tree while Jackie's setting that up, I'd like to have a Jewish star on the top.
This is so cute.
But then I would also like if we could wrap around some red and green. Maybe make the Jewish star red and green. Do that actually. And then yeah, just I don't know, just some regular Christmas tree stuff. Nothing, you don't spend too many specifics on it.
Oh my God, this
Yeah,
is
that's beautiful.
so cute.
Thank you. We'll keep that up for a little bit. We'll keep it up for the rest of the show.
This is so cute. My mom got me this, and she knows I love minis and being Jewish, and this is the perfect gift for someone that likes those two things.
But are those the candles you're giving me? Because my menorah doesn't fit those little candles. I have a big menorah.
Oh shit! Yeah, this is it.
I'm sure maybe I could burn the bottom and let
Can
them.
you imagine if you tried to put this in? No, of course not, Ricky. I brought you special.
This doesn't happen much, but I just got Glassman bopped.
Where are they? Hold on. Oh, mask. Here.
We'll just cut to when they're
Here.
in. Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Those now are gonna get me. That's how it works. You always have to get new candles towards like night 6, 7, or 8.
Because you always use. Oh my God, that's such a good. That's exactly what I had to do this year.
Yeah. So every year you're using something from the past, something from the present, something blue. It's like a marriage.
Oh my
And
goodness.
something new or
Yeah,
used or.
and used and new of that. Wait a second.
So it's the so this is coming out a few days before Christmas, after Hanukah ended. But this, newsflash, this is the 8th and final night of Hanukah, and we are going to light the menorah. Jackie,
I'm posing with it because it's so cute. I need matches.
Tom, I'll tell you what. For this, we're gonna walk. I'm gonna walk past the tree. You don't have to do any frame by frame work. This is gonna be. It's the holidays. Why don't you take a break? I'll just end up going behind the tree.
He's so giving. Do you have tinfoil or something? I don't want it to get on your table.
Yes.
Did you really just fall that hard? I can't believe that wasn't a pratfall. I can't believe it. Man, I haven't seen someone fall that hard in a minute.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh! Fuck, it's so cute. Oh my god. I'm gonna sing the song.
Is it a song or is it a prayer?
It's a prayer song. It's very short.
Oh, we're supposed to stand for it, right?
Oh, yeah. Are we?
And I usually light the servant while it's still in the menorah.
No, because this is so mini, I'll burn my hand off doing it. Like, I can't.
But it's out of respect.
I don't think that's a rule.
Think about those people.
I am, and I think they're like, you're
They
good.
thought they'd only get one night.
And I think they're like, oh my god, we got 8. Like, we don't care how you do the shamus.
Would you like, but speaking to the audience, would you like Jackie and I to explain to you the origins and what Hanukah means before we light the candles? What do you think? Come on, you can do better than that.
Go ahead, Ricky.
I'm going to put cheers of sound effects in, but the second time when I asked him to get louder, we just said silence and we hear a little horn in the background. I think I just want to not put the cheers for the second one. Okay. All right, so Hanukah started back in, I think, the 30s.
I was going to say 1930, 35, yeah, like
Yeah,
that.
it was during the Depression when, and there was this couple, Hans and
Ukka.
Yucca or Ukka?
I just thought it was Ukka. There's a Y, but I thought you didn't pronounce it.
Hans and Ukka, Y-U-K-K-A, and they only had enough...
H.
Y-U-K-K-A-H. Well, some people spell
And
it with an H, some C-H.
And then with Hans, some people do C-H-A-N-S, and some people do H-A-N-S.
So...
You okay? No problem.
I'm sorry. That's Hanukah.
Hanukah?
So...
To do it for Hanukah?
No, I didn't do it for Hanukah. I did it for...
Because you had to.
So...
I can't believe you fell that hard.
What's it like doing Rick's podcast? I want to do a highlight of me almost catching myself on fire, making you wait for 20 minutes while I get this fireplace, having you snap all the time, the tripping, the farting on the mic. Thank you.
No problem. I love it.
I'm feeling insecure now.
No. That's crazy. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, we didn't tell people about...
Oh, right. So Hans and Ukka was the 30s, so there was the Depression.
They only had enough oil for one night.
That's right.
But it lasted them a few more.
Right.
Like 8. It's 8.
8.
And this is to remember Hans and Yucca. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Can I tell you something serious? I know it's fine and everything's fun, and I don't know if this would blah, 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 blah. But there's something about... Am I trivializing? But Hanukah, they say, I don't know, but they say it's not really like... You know, it's not like Yom Kippur.
Correct. Hanukkah is actually not one of the highest holy days of the Jewish year. It's just the one we celebrate the most, truly because it's near Christmas.
But
and it's...
Is it still like...
It's a holy day, sure.
Well, tell me a day that isn't, and I'll show you a leader that isn't a servant. All days are holy.
Arbor Day. That's holy. That's trees.
What is Arbor Day?
I think it's just a day to celebrate and plant trees.
I always thought it was a pirate being cold.
Not bad. Quick, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right?
Of course. Arbor. It's good.
Oh, no, I just...
Oh, you didn't even...
No, that's actually hilarious. That's so lucky. 2, 3.
Baruch
No, but also don't you have to light them before you do it? You do it when they're lit, and you put your hands over the lit candles.
Okay, here we go. And
you go from right to left.
No, you go from left to right.
No.
You put them candles in right to left, and you light them left to right.
I disagree.
Want to Google it quick? Because you put them in from right to left.
I know. I thought you do both.
No, you put them in from right to left.
In what order do you light the Hanukah candles? In 1930, Hans and Yucca. Okay. How to light a Hanukah menorah. With all of the Jewish rituals, the lighting of a Hanukah candles goes according to a specific order of blessing. First Hanukah is 8 nights. Just get to it. The shamash, or the helper, not the servant. This says helper. Maybe it's the same. Has its own designated spot, usually in the center. And each night, another candle is added, so the 8th and final night of Hanukah has 9 candles. The candles are placed in the menorah from right to left, just as Hebrew is written, but are lit from left to right. This is the 4th time on the podcast this has happened.
I did it wrong on Armchair last year. I lit them wrong, and then I felt like a really bad Jewish representative and made sure I learned.
You know, it's not making a mistake, it's choosing. consciously or otherwise, to not learn from it?
Cute, right?
Baruch.
Oh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'avchad l'kner shel Hanukah.
Amen.
And
drop a beat.
Hey. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hey. V'tzivanu shel Hanukah. No.
If anybody, if there are any anti-Semites who also don't like my brand of comedy, I think this episode will change their minds.
That's right.
Thank you for bringing that. Thank you for being such a joy. Now, Jackie,
I'm so happy it's there.
Jackie, what is your biggest fear? What is your biggest fear, and what is it that you want most?
Kids. I want babies.
What's your biggest fear? That you won't have them? Mm-hmm. You know, isn't that interesting? It's perspective again. Biggest and worst, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like the servant and the waiter, or the cook or whatever. The
server. The server and the hostess.
The hostess,
you
right.
got it.
See, a lot of people often make a mistake when they want to change something. They go, you know what, let's take a 360. No, 360 takes you right back where you were.
I think the exact same thing.
A 180 is the furthest you could go. And the furthest you could go as a 180 is straight line. Now, one could say on one end of the line and the other end of the line is the furthest apart that things could be. Well, at the same time, they're still connected. Jackie.
What's up?
The lines are still connected.
Connected, yeah.
So, me at a first date bombing and thinking she wants to marry me.
No, definitely connected. Got it.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
So, what would you say, panicking, remembering that you're supposed to do interviews and didn't prepare for it? So you're an actress. Mm-hmm. Do you like to be called an actor or an actress?
I want to tell everybody about Leftovers, Ricky. I can't forget before I leave.
This isn't the...
I just always forget. We always hang out, and then I'm like, wait, people need to watch the thing.
Absolutely. I tried to watch it.
Stop.
I did.
Don't say it like you tried to watch it and you couldn't.
Well, I couldn't.
But you just explain.
Sure. I watched 10 seconds of it, and it just was... No, there was only a trailer when you tried to watch it.
Yes.
So, is it out?
Okay. So, I'm hosting a new Netflix cooking competition series, which is like Pee-wee's Playhouse meets Chopped meets Nailed It, that I'm hosting. I said that already. And it is called Best Leftovers Ever. And
is it out yet?
Nope. December 30th. Streaming on Netflix.
Which means that
so
when
you've
this
only
comes
watched
out...
the trailer.
And it was awesome. And it was like, this is a silly thing, but I know you'll understand, so I'm explaining to other people. We have friends that do stuff, and then that's cool, they do stuff. And then sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, and sometimes you don't see it. But when you see something and it looks like a real thing, you know what I mean? Like seeing a friend who's in a movie, a studio movie, and before the movie starts, the Universal thing comes, or like the Marvel thing comes.
It's just real.
Oh, this is a real thing.
Because you remember talking to them while it was happening,
yeah.
And then just seeing like weird behind the scenes pictures of like friends, and it's just also, it's not real till it's real. It's wild.
And then the trailer, it looks like a real Food Network competition.
Netflix.
Yeah, well, I'm saying Food Network is the brand, how I identify with it. And it looks awesome. And like the crane, and it's such a silly thing to say, but the shots that come in and how's everybody doing?
I mean, you can imagine how I felt. My dream come true, always wanting to host a show since I was a little kid. And I'm standing there and the crane's coming in and I'm reading the monitor and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is everything.
How many episodes did you do?
8.
And you did it over a short period of time,
yes,
didn't you?
we did an episode a day for 8 days. So it was 4 episodes one week last November and then 4 the next week, and we were done. It was crazy.
Now tell me if this is right. You film them right to left, but you watch them left to right.
Correct.
Did you get an opportunity, when you're doing stuff, like actors get better season 1 to season 2, and even throughout the seasons, they get more experience and they get to watch it and see stuff. You didn't get to see anything, did you?
No, but I got to feel like, I think there's something like I'm pretty sure that I got this job because I'm not like a full like host where I'm like just very sort of Midwestern and don't have an accent and just, I mean, I'm hosty just because I'm like, I don't know, hosty like you're hosty, just because you have a good personality and you're fun and it's like, okay, cool. But then it was interesting, I guess, in the very beginning of the first episode, I was like being hosty and the showrunner came over and she was like, bro.
Show me what being hosty is.
Sort of like, this is best leftovers
That's
ever.
not what you did, though. You didn't talk like that.
No, at first I did. And the showrunner, but not like super cheesy. Like I was still being like, I'm Jackie Tohn, I'm your host. You can tell because of the blazer. Like I just was still saying shit I would say and improvising and doing whatever. But there was like a little bit of like a shellac on it. And the showrunner came over and she was like, lose it. Lose the shellac. Like just be Jackie, talk, like just tell us what's up. And it was really incredible.
Did you understand that note right when she said it?
Immediately.
So what was not the voice, but what was the intention where you decided, oh.
I don't know. I was just like, it felt like, I mean, this is me being very hard on myself and I don't feel this negatively about myself, but I think in my brain it was a little bit like shining shit.
I don't know what that means. Oh, polishing shit.
Yeah, like I was, like I am who I am and I, have been... I feel a certain way about myself and I've been told, we've talked about this, but I've been told my whole life that I'm, too much or too loud or too whatever. And a lot of the time that works in my life. And a lot of the time it's maybe the reason people aren't interested in whatever it is I'm peddling. And I think I was trying to make myself accessible to everyone and just sort of really, putting it on like a host does.
So by putting it on like a host, does that mean you're trying to not be that other thing?
Yeah, like be myself, but like add a cup of water and a cup of white paint. And she was like, take away the water, take away the white paint. Like just do you.
So does that mean the loud thing that you were trying to stay away from?
It's not necessarily loud because I don't know that like loud is necessarily my issue. It's more just...
It is.
Fuck off. It's more just like how much, and who gets that better. So it's like, it just me sort of just trying to like tone it down a little bit. Not even obviously volume, just like the whole shtick, just tone
Control
it down. And I think a lot of the time in my career, I have had to. And so to be told by our showrunner and by Netflix and by everybody in Video Village, just like, no, we want the wackadoo. Like that is why we hired you. That's what we're looking for. There was like such a freedom there. And then I never felt more comfortable doing something because I was able to so authentically like just bring anything I thought of to the table and felt like received. It was nuts.
Have you had any job where you felt you got to be yourself like that?
Glow was certainly the closest, but I think not really. I mean, that's what it is to be an actor. I mean, you show up and you can bring certain parts of your personality, but I generally don't get parts that are for demure women from the South. Like, those aren't like the roles that I'm generally getting. So there's always like a piece of me in there. But no, I've never gotten a chance to just fully be like, hey, I'm Jackie. This is how I talk. This is how I sound. This is how I shtick. Let's party.
So you said that you've been getting it for years. You're I don't know exactly what you said. You said a few things, but it all falls under the category of being too much.
Yeah.
And
or feeling like too much. Not an objective, you're too much, but like notes here and there and hearing from people or on auditions or in relationships or just like that's a recurring theme in my life.
How does that connect to 10 years ago when you didn't have the identity you have now as the funny best friend? What's the relationship between the...
I think 10 years ago, I didn't have people in my corner being like, no, the thing you're doing is the thing you should be doing.
But what were you doing 10 years ago? Were you not doing the thing you were doing?
I think I think sort of this is a fun...
Also, I'm sorry to you and to the people listening. Let's keep going, but there's a static, and I think it's making it in, and I don't understand it, and I'm still trying to find this new setup.
Is it because your phone is too close to it?
No, it's the wire that is doing the headphone splitting, which it doesn't. I don't want to get into the technical stuff with it because I haven't figured out how to fix this since I moved. But I'm sorry.
Don't care.
Okay.
The only thing you should apologize for is interrupting my train of thought.
If I didn't acknowledge it, I wouldn't be able to pay attention to you.
I'm kidding. Don't care ever. I've been interrupted by you thousands of times over the years. No, I think
people say that I should be doing that. That's
we are both chronic interrupters, and in fact, I am such an interrupter and receive interruptions so seamlessly because of who my parents are. We're from New York, my brothers, everyone I know in my life, in my speed and my wavelength. We always talk
each other's sentences.
Exactly, and we always talk over each other, and so there's never been a sense of like. And then sometimes I'll be talking to someone or and then have someone be like, "Man, like, can I finish a thought?" And it's like, "Oh, you don't get that." This is just like what it is. It's not like, I don't know. I don't look at it as rude. Like when you interrupt, like I don't care. It's just the way that the flow happens. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And speaking of which, I'd like to come back and digress the flow to talk about that. Put a little magnifying glass on it a little bit. Yes. My family, we are that way. I meet people who are passive, to say it politically. And there was a time where I thought, well, listen, if you want to say something, say something. Like, why is it my responsibility to be like, oh, here you go, here's the microphone? And my experience has been that...
Mixperience, new at McDonald's.
That if somebody isn't that way, they're not that way. And I could continue to be like, hey, listen, if you want a glass of water, ask for a glass of water. But also to learn that for some reason, and it's still, even though I think I should be doing this, they're wrong. I still believe this person is wrong. If you want a glass of water, ask me for one. But as a host, you should give. But, so...
I know. I agree. And by the way, if I go to someone's house and I want a glass of water, not only do I ask for one, I don't begrudge them for not offering. I think it goes both ways. I think there's a lot of people that A, won't ask, but then B, if they do ask, are like, Jesus, I can't believe I had to, like, I just don't.
Those are the type of people that when you meet them for a second time 2 years later, and they go, actually, we already met. And I go, then get a glass of water. What are you doing?
I love and actually we already met. Cool, remind me how not memorable you were.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't have a bad memory. Like, it's just, it's always, that's never a, yeah, that's a hard one. The cool, we've actually already met is a very hard one.
No, it's a case by case.
I agree, because sometimes I'll have super funny and interesting interactions with someone who will then reintroduce themselves to me and I'll be shocked. But then...
It's for me, if it serves a utility to let them know we met already.
Okay, fair, right.
Well,
also if it jogs their memory, like if it doesn't and it's just for you to be sad and make them feel bad and now we both feel awkward and I'm like, well, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, James.
He comes back in, leaves. I will meet somebody that I remember and feel like they won't remember me and will say, hey, how you doing? Rick from Take Your Shoes Off podcast. You were over a week ago.
Stop it.
Stop it. I saw, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so anyway, with the interrupting and the blah, 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 even though I am an interrupter, this podcast I'm a lot better. I don't do it as much.
Yeah.
But I still feel like my instincts are right a lot of the time. Funny. I also know that they may not only disagree, they'll be wrong, but that's their experience.
Sure.
So,
what were we talking about right before the whole interrupting thing?
The difference between 10 years ago and identity and you being the quirky best friend versus doing what you do now.
We're good.
So, you now get to be yourself on this cooking show.
It's crazy. Is
the yourself a version of your brand or the whole package? Does that question make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. I mean... It's kind of a whole package, but I don't think it's ever the whole package because it's not like I'm doing every single thing I'm capable of. I mean, hopefully one day, I want to be sort of Bette Midler or Cher or Guild, I want to be in very dramatic features nominated for Academy Award. So it's not that part of my life and career and dreams, but it's so fun and so sickly funny. It's just really, it's just such an easy watch. It's really good.
Last 8 nights of TYSO, so last holiday thing, John DeWalt was on, and we played a game, and we talked about it. We had a fun time with it, and afterwards we were like, this actually could be a great show. For the past year, John, Allison, and I have been developing it, and it's a cartoon. I think I told you briefly about it a while ago. We actually met once, but long story short, little moments throughout over the past year, I've had guests on, and I've talked a little bit about this and that and this and that, and it's kind of like if the show goes, I have documented kind of from inception to ideas and scenes and casting and meetings and producing and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know if the show goes or if it even works out, but if it does, I'll cut to this clip. I want to plant a seed. Just the Bette Midler thing that you said, who is our number one get? No, she's not. She's our number two.
Who's your number one?
Who do you think?
Barbara?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Bette's number two, Streisand's number one.
That's not my order, but I hear that it's yours.
That's not my order either. For this, it is. And I'll tell you why. Your number three was the point. I'll tell you why.
Looks like it's going to be me.
Listen. Crazier things have happened.
True.
We got Jeremiah Watkins on this podcast
Holy
once, so I know
cow.
people.
So this is the Take Your Shoes Off podcast.
Are you comfortable?
No. Oh, much better.
Okay. Can we just go back?
All right, let's go back. Oh, okay, cool. As I was saying, this is the Take Your Shoes Off podcast, right?
We'll be right back with a word from our sponsors.
Jeremiah playing an accordion.
That was actually Jeremiah naked playing a saxophone. We saw Seth Rogen and Barbra Streisand in Guilt Trip.
Sure did.
And
that movie got a 3 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I loved it.
The only way that movie gets a 3 if it's how many thumbs up it should have gotten. Okay, because we're in the theaters watching this movie, 25% full opening weekend, and same way when people like say we met already, everybody else is wrong.
Everybody else is wrong.
I had never watched a movie. Step Brothers I did, but for a different reason. But other than Step Brothers, I never watched a movie where almost the entire movie, and you were too, was like this. It was a documentary.
It was a documentary.
It was a documentary with a narrative. Like, you do something with your parents, and I should have got it on tape, or you do, but it doesn't have all the context.
Every conversation I have with them.
This was that, but they had a story. They had angles. They had lighting. They had B stories.
They had fucking Barbara and Seth Rogen.
I couldn't believe it. So if you're this is my pitch for Guilt Trip with Barbra Streisand and Seth Rogen.
Whole commercial for Guilt Trip.
But after seeing that, what Barbara did, the M&Ms, the nails, it's perfect. That's why she's number one to me.
I watched Funny Girl yesterday. It's almost 3 hours long.
One of my mom's favorite movies. I've only seen parts when she watches it. I can't get into movies like that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, at this point, it's like you had to have been raised on it in a weird way because it's 3 hours long, and obviously it's dated, and it sweetly takes its time. I mean, for me in that movie, it's the parts with Barbara, and the rest of it I love, but I can give or take. Also, yeah, I'm Bet all the way. I love, obviously, come on, both. Queens.
My experiences with Barbara and Bette, although I'm more educated than this, but they really do come down to this. Guilt Trip, Hocus Pocus.
Stop.
For real.
What about Beaches? What about Mermaid? What about...
I've seen them, kind of.
What about Outrageous Fortune with Bette Midler?
I don't know that.
What about... oh, man.
Yeah, I'm not properly educated. I know
9
that.
to 5.
What's that?
9 to 5. Lily Tomlin, Dolly Parton.
I don't know. I got into this with my parents when I was home for the holidays or Thanksgiving. And this is a hyperbolic statement, and I don't mean it, but like this is the cartoon version. Anything made before 1980 that doesn't include Al Pacino or Robert De Niro, there's maybe 10 movies. The rest
that exist. Not that you've seen. There's only 10 that exist.
10 that are like, I'm not gonna watch. I don't like. Oh, Chinatown is the best thing you've ever seen.
I never saw
Casablanca. I don't know.
Wait, I gotta look something up because now I'm freaking out. Because I made a mistake and I can't say Bette Midler's in 9 to 5, but we literally can't find it out.
Correct. But also, do you not want people to know that you messed it up?
No, I want to talk about how I messed it up.
Well, it's in here.
Ugh, I'm looking it up, and Ricky's Wi-Fi isn't working, but Bette Midler's not in 9 to 5. It's Lily Tomlin, Dolly Parton, and I can't think of who the third is, but I don't think it's Bette. And I'm trying to think of the poster, and now I'm confusing myself, and I'm freaking
put
out.
The posters. We'll put up the poster on this window.
Oh, great.
Take a look.
Oh, that's who it is. Ugh, duh.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 doom, 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 beep, 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 boom, boom. Stumbled out of bed and stumbled to the kitchen. Poured myself a cup of ambition and yawn instruction. Try to stay alive. Dolly Parton, man.
Do you think YouTube will flag that?
No.
They did with, oddly enough, Jeremiah Watkins. We sang "Dust in the Wind" or something with Kansas. I don't remember.
Someone sits there and watches every
it.
single thing, or is there a robot that listens for music? That's
They're
exhausting either way you think about it.
They're just a huge fan of mine.
Right.
They have an algorithm. I did a couple weeks ago, and I have to send you parts to watch.
Have to.
I filmed episode number 91 was watching the Browns game with my dad, grandma, and Uncle Bob. And we did a podcast for like 45 minutes up top, and then we watched the whole 3-hour game, edited the whole thing down to about 2 hours of fire. It's so good. My grandma is so...
I am so nervous. I don't know if I can last the whole game. Come on, Baker! You know, I never watch a whole game.
Weather looks good.
Oh! Motherfucker! Oh, he almost got it. Almost an interception. Oh,
Now they have to run the ball up the middle for 2 yards.
shut up, Robert. Mother, I can't watch a game with him.
Oh, try, Ma.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Ay. This is going to be a long day for me. I think I'm going to go in the other room and just wait.
The diminutive
You
one.
can shut up, Robert.
Okay, here comes the fake running.
Shut up!
Play.
Yeah, well. Come on already! I can't go through a whole game like this.
That was to K. Darrell Hodge, by the way. Attempted. They should quarterback sneak.
Robert, shut up. I don't want to hear from you now.
No.
Wait. Get him! Come on, you fuck ass.
I love you, Mom. I love you.
You know,
you're really stressed,
you know what?
aren't
If
you?
I'm at home, I go in the other room and shut this off.
Already.
Yeah.
Nothing's bad has happened yet.
Yeah.
We just
Yes,
went 3 and out. So.
That's bad. Shouldn't be 3 and out with Philadelphia.
They're not that bad, Mom.
Again, there he goes. There he goes
Yep.
again. Everything the opposite of what I say, he says the opposite.
Leroy Horde's playing.
Oh, get him! What the fuck you letting him? Oh, Jesus Christ, you fucker. Look at this. Look at this. What in the hell? Oh. What? Robert, what are you doing?
What did I do?
What are you
Ricky,
doing?
what did I do?
I don't know.
Robert, I'm going to watch the game in the other room because I can't take this. Look.
I didn't rush the passer.
Where in the hell are they? Ugh.
They got a bunch of shit kickers on the line, Mom. They're without the defensive player of the year.
Robert,
A
why don't
bunch
you
of
go-
guys by the name of Joe trying to rush the passer.
Robert, why don't you go in the other room? That's why I don't watch the game with you. Iris, I'm telling you, I can't stand it already. This is the end of the game. They're through. They can't stop. They couldn't stop me. The weather shit. Philadelphia stopped us, didn't they? Baker, just throw it down the fucking field. Debbie, the sweet potato chips are delicious. Really? Oh, they're very good.
You know what John Wayne?
Put it the
You know what
microphone-
John Wayne would say?
Oh, shut up.
That's
Put the microphone down.
goddamn ridiculous.
For Christ's sake. I'm telling you, watching a game with him is like going through torture. I swear to God. He does everything he knows I don't like. I'm not looking at Robert. I'm not looking outside. I'm not looking at anything. I don't give a shit. Don't fumble the fucking ball. I'm telling you, when they kick off, I get so nervous. I'm just as nervous. I never rest. Oh, you know what your grandfather used to say to me? Go upstairs and lock yourself in the bathroom. I used to go out in the garage. I watched most of the game. I was out in the garage half the time.
You can't pass the ball. You just can't take that
Shush.
chance.
Don't tell me what you're doing. I don't want to know.
Pass to Hunt for 10 yards up the middle.
Well. Is it time for them to kick a field goal?
An 87-yard field goal?
All right, throw it. Don't throw it. Sit down. Sit. Come here, Chloe. Wouldn't it be nice if I had a quarterback like Brady and I can count on him?
What about Ben Roethlisberger? How would you like him? He's good.
Tell him to go. And we're back.
Snap your fingers.
I can't.
Uncle Bob is harassed by my grandma. She's so mean to him. She goes, why doesn't he? Robert, I just want him to go. Robert, this is why I can't watch games with you. And it's just nonstop her yelling, get the fuckers! And it's mental. But I did it awesome. I had all these cameras set up. I had a camera on the TV, so I had a picture-in-picture of the game so you could see what they're reacting to. They wouldn't let us put that up with the game. And I tried some tricks. I flipped it, did a mirror so it would look different.
Smart.
Did a border of a TV with like a tube set thing over it with an effect on top of it, a moving effect, so it looked like there was static. They still caught it, and I couldn't post it. So it's still great. It's a great episode, and we're seeing us react, but we can't see what they're.
Now, who loses if that exists in your thing? Like, what's
It's copyrighted and or trademarked, and that was the NFL. So basically, it marks it, and it says, this belongs to the NFL. You could submit a claim, and they have 30 days to respond.
To whom am I concerned? The fucking NFL.
And they go, no.
Well, then not once they see Grandma Gloria Glassman, they don't.
They said no. I had to re-upload. Spent so much time editing that stuff.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah.
Were you just hopeful when you spent all that time editing it in? Because I feel like you can't do that.
I didn't know I couldn't. I knew that it would be an obstacle. I did think that because there's no sound and it's small and I reversed it, I could get away with it.
Right.
I did a good job. It was easy to take it off because I had it on its own editing layer.
Right.
You don't need to get into the editing stuff
now.
No,
please don't.
But putting it in took a lot of time.
I see.
Because everything kept moving, and I had to resize a whole bunch of times. And
oh, God, it's so annoying. You put so much work into this pod.
that one, Evan and I edited, and we each put 30 hours into it. Legit 60 hours to edit that episode. And it makes a little money.
$20.
But
What about if you put a lot of extras from it on Patreon? Could you make the money back that way? This is boring for people. Let's not talk about how you make money on Patreon.
I do want to say, maybe it's boring for people, but then, don't listen. The podcast has become my life. And I do want to say Patreon has been a great place of putting exclusive content. And the other day, Sullivan was over. And
how's Sullivan?
He's good.
The best? Okay.
He is on a new show. Check out The Wilds on Amazon.
If only he was that quick to, what's it called? To plug mine.
I didn't have David on the podcast.
I mean, but it was like, you were like, what's yours again? And then you're like, watch The Wilds. Like, you were so ready with
I'm about to glass and bop you so hard. Are you ready?
Yes.
If you want a glass of water, just ask.
Fair, but like, you did fine. I mean, I'm here, but like...
There isn't a podcast that I've been on where within the first 2 minutes, I didn't cut to a Marshall Rug Gallery ad. I got a great anecdote. Less than 60 seconds. Bobby, do I have your permission?
It's like a doctor.
We'll be right back with a word from Marshall Rug Gallery. If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll certainly find them. And we're back. I remember being at Disney World when I was, let's say 7. 1, 2, 3, 7. And I was there.
My point was just that you were so ready just now. Like, you were like a host ready to like deliver that info about Sullivan's show.
Because he's not here to do it himself.
Fair.
David Sullivan, hey, say I'm on The Wild. Why don't you say it? I'm not there. Oh, he's on The Wilds.
Fair.
And films in New Zealand. He might get to do a second season. He finds out any day now, I believe.
He
for
looks like
4
he's on
months.
a show called The Wilds.
Yeah, he does. What was the point? Oh, he was over. Check out The Wilds, by the way. He was also in Argo. And I went live on my YouTube channel. I'd never done that. And 700 people. It got 4,000 views in the first half hour. But at any given time, there's like 700 people in there. And maybe this is tacky to talk about, but I want people to know and do it. There's this thing on YouTube called Super Chats. Are you familiar with this?
Not at all.
Do you know anything about Twitch?
Yes, it's the gamer thing that everybody is on.
It's not just gaming. I just started a Twitch, Rick Glassman. I'm thinking about twitching. You could watch people do stuff. Like there's this artist that paints, and you could watch from beginning to end.
Did it start as just gaming?
It started with its priority was gaming, yeah. And now it's basically just live streaming. So people do shows. You could do stand-up. You could do music shows, whatever it is. And Super Chats is a thing where they tip you. And as a joke, I'm like, hey guys, send me some Super Chats. And the first video I did, which was a little over 30 minutes, I made $500. People are sending $20, $10. Now YouTube takes 30%, which is wild. They make so much money.
eBay takes 9%, and I'm pissed.
Who does?
eBay.
Are you still doing a lot of eBay?
No, hardly any.
Good
but I'm
for
just
you.
talking about like, thank you, really growing up. That's the major difference between me now and me 10 years ago. No longer selling famous people's shit on eBay.
But I still need you to clean my closet
Will
the way
do.
you did for famous people stuff.
Will do.
But I go on for a half hour, and it was awesome. I mean, there were so many people in there, and we were talking and chatting and doing bits, and I want to do it more because this is so curated and editing and time and looking a certain way.
Yeah,
Even though I haven't figured it out here, that is, you just go on. It feels to me the difference between a post and a post on your
story.
feed and a story. Yeah, and then once it's live, I don't have it up there permanently, but for Patreon people, they could watch it.
Wow.
And and I'm letting Patreon people, I'm giving them notice before I go live, and if they have questions they want to ask, I'll make sure to get to them and they could watch it. So I'm trying to find different ways for this.
Oh, there's so much shit you could be doing right now.
So-
Rather, I could be doing. You are doing it.
Do it.
I don't know.
It's so much work.
It's so much work.
On one hand, it feels like you could go on and get this money, and it's easy. But on the other hand, that's like going out and doing a weekend of stand-up. Look how much money you make. But behind the scenes, how much work you have to put into it. It's not just getting paid $10,000 for a weekend.
My brother used to say that to me, like I don't think he meant anything by it, but he at one point was like, because when you do a national commercial, you get paid every time it's on.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on network television, if it's on cable, you make a paltry amount of money for 13 weeks.
Knives and chicken?
Yes.
I've never heard of poultry.
Fowl. Paltry, Paltry, like a nominal, menial. You make a very small amount of money for it to be on for 13 straight weeks. So people will often think every time they see it on cable.
You make a lot of money. What are you talking about?
$3,500 for 13 weeks.
For a national commercial?
If it's on cable.
Oh, you're saying if
Yes.
it's not national. Gotcha.
No. If it's national, but for the cable portion of it, it's nothing. And for every time it's on network television, you get paid.
Right.
So that's great money. But I remember like family members or friends being like, oh, that must be nice. You just sit there and get paid. And I was like, I went on 200 auditions before I got this one.
And each one of those 20-minute auditions was 3 hours of drive time.
Oh, at least 3 hours of
Yeah.
drive time and gas money and hair and makeup and all.
Learning the lines.
All of it. It's just a wild amount of time
Yeah.
and money. And if at the end of the day you make 16 grand, then minus, this sounds like this is so fucking inside, but it's just a wild thing to your point of like, it seems like it's so easy and there's such a massive
Right.
amount of work that goes into every little tiny success we experience in this business.
Yeah, if you do 3 commercials and make $70,000, that's great. And wow, they did that. They did that in 3 to 4 days of work.
That's a huge. You
But-
wouldn't make 70 on 3 commercials these days.
But the point I'm making is somebody sees that, like adding on to yours, but it wasn't 3-4 days. It was all year. And also, you don't know if you're going to get those spots. I remember I did a commercial once for Smirnoff. It never even aired.
Oh yeah, I did a Burger King one, and it was the only job I got that year, and it just never aired.
Well, we'll be right back with a word from our sponsors.
Hey, the future. What's her problem?
Apparently, I kept her up all night. She said the future freaks her out. How come no one likes me, Jim?
Intel does.
That wasn't the.
They created an exclusive Sriracha Mac sauce with just the right kick of spice. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're doing that, my movie's gonna kick that movie's movie butt.
Jeez, it's like we're twins.
I feel like I don't even know you anymore.
We were dating.
So comfortable. And I come in teal.
Take things up by dipping your McNuggets in this creamy sauce with just the right amount of spice.
I put in another one of my McDonald's.
Same one.
I did 5. I did 6.
Ricky.
I did a signature sriracha sandwich.
I remember.
Then
Oh
they
my
had,
God.
Then they had me do 5 voiceover ones.
And you were a twin in that one?
No.
Because I remember the twin one.
That's El Pollo Loco. That's
Oh.
when we were dating. That's when I was, I was auditioning for Undateable, and then I got a test offer to do it, and the test offer was the same day as the test was the same day as this commercial that I already booked. So that's like which one's more important? Obviously, testing for a network sitcom, but that's just an audition. Here's a guaranteed thing, and my manager at the time was able to have them move it.
Move the test or move the commercial shoot?
I wasn't asking him to move the test. I don't want to start off a show with saying he couldn't make the test,
Yeah, of course.
But they moved the commercial, and you came. I remember you came. You dropped something off. I don't remember what it was.
I don't either.
Man, that was a long time ago.
2000.
14.
No.
Yeah.
13.
I think it was beginning of 14. Maybe it was 13.
Weird. I think it was 13. That's wild.
Either way, speaking of wild, check out The Wild on Amazon. Earlier, she said wild, and I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Should have.
So put it on the window. And also sometime, I don't remember when it was, I snapped while she was talking. I just put a Santa hat on me. Oh, man. Wait, I want to keep talking. Oh, I want to tell you about the money thing. Yeah, just
exactly. That it's this. You were saying $70,000 if you do 3, and this is even getting more inside. But after taxes, agent, manager, your annual salary is like, and if you're lucky, you're making like 30. If for the whole year, if you're like lucky.
And booking 3 commercials is hard enough, let alone each one of those averaging $23K.
Oh yeah, no, those are crazy numbers.
Although I got to tell you, I did really well in the intel.
I know that. We can't tell the pod about the time that you said that. No. Yes, you'll need to bleep this. The time you said we started working on Feudal and Stupid, and you told me you found out you were autistic the same time you found out that your lawyer blew up that giant commercial deal for you.
Yeah. Well, for me to be political now, I'll say it wasn't necessarily the lawyer. You never know. There's a lot of moving parts. But I will say...
Do you still work with that person?
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then definitely cut this part out.
Well, who knows? But...
That's my biggest fear. That's I always tell my team, which by the way makes me the worst negotiator, because I'm like, take whatever they'll give you, because I know a dude who asked for too much and then the whole fucking thing blew up.
So, I mean, it's so, I don't know if pretentious is the right word, but somewhere in that family to talk those kind of numbers, but I feel like it's okay because I didn't get it. But I did 2 Intel commercials, and it was with Jim Parsons, and I was the spokesperson. I was playing the future, and the commercials went well. They liked them, and they offered me a campaign. And
it's so painful.
I'm not going to give all the details right now.
My asshole's sewing itself closed.
But basically, yeah.
I'm sorry to bring it up.
No, it's okay.
Your asshole is not sewing itself closed.
Something about it feels like I shouldn't be talking about it, but I can't logically figure out a reason why.
Well,
there's no NDA. I'm not giving anybody's name. And also, I'm not blaming this on anybody in particular. It's just a situation that happened. Also, it's a lot of money that I'm mentioning, so it feels like I shouldn't talk about it. But, I'm always going to be... That's what's so great about my relationship with my fans, and that's why they're going to help... They give me so much money.
You just lost a couple hundred when you went.
Yeah, but I got it back when I pissed my pants. I was peeing.
Tom put in the pants pissing.
But long story short, it ended up being a $250,000 offer to do these commercials. And I said, of course, if somebody says, hey, you should get more, and also not getting into too much of it. I am censoring myself, and I'm uncomfortable because I usually don't do this, but there's some tact that I haven't thought about, and I'm on the spot, but I will just say the amount I made for the commercials to be offered a campaign, which comes with other responsibilities, including exclusivity, travel, all these other things, I should at least be getting paid the same per commercial as I was here. And it was close, but it was a guarantee, blah, blah, blah. Hey, at $250,000, but normally this is the rate, I should be getting more. I said, yeah, I'd love to get more. But there is no world where I would not do this. It would have been 4 days of work. It was 5 days of work. So 5 days of work, $50,000 per day. I'll do that.
Insane.
And also, here's something that you don't want the gatekeepers to hear. I do it for $1,000.
Oh, I say the same thing. I'm like, I would do it for $50 in a taco. That's what I always say, which makes me a terrible negotiator because I love to work. I want to be out there. I want to be having fun. My life's work has led me to now and trying to stay busy and stay hired and stay
relevant.
Working.
And to showcase and to meet people. Like a lot of the jobs I've done where I either didn't get paid, thinking of stand-up, or we got paid a little for the job. Those are all the reasons I'm able to get such awesome guests on the podcast.
Yeah.
And people that want to do voices on the show or whatever. It's like, yeah, I want to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'd rather get $1 million than 200.
Well, of course. Like if an attorney, it's always hard because when an attorney is telling you, my manager, when I was doing Glow season 1, he recommended I not take Glow season 2. Could you die?
Why? Because he thought you weren't giving you enough money?
Correct. And he said that your only negotiating tactic is just saying you won't do it. And I said, there's 15 women on this show. If we say we're not doing it, they'll be bummed, but I don't think they're going to throw millions of dollars at me. Like, it's just, there's.
It's a leverage argument.
It's a leverage argument, but I'm not. It's so funny. The first celebrity that comes to my mind always, and I've never seen her in one movie ever, is Keira Knightley. But I'm not Keira Knightley level where I'm like, hey, fuck you. You want me. This is the amount of money it is, and that's it. It's like, it's not game over for me. It was my first time being a series regular. It was only season 2. There's 15 women on the show, and he was like, you shouldn't go back. You shouldn't go back.
To me is, if it either pays a lot of money, then I'll do, I'll stand on the street in a dick costume.
For sure.
Or will I be good in this thing? Like, if it's something that I'll be, let's just fucking do it.
I mean, Glow for me was absolutely...
Glow on Netflix. Still is.
Wild. But still just a, obviously just...
The noise outside?
Oh, it sounds like someone's banging into me.
It's part of the charm of the balcony series.
You have to go.
Yeah, but what are you saying?
Oh, just that speaking of $50 in a taco, I mean, there's just no universe I wouldn't have done Glow. It's just, it was the greatest acting experience of my life, greatest friendship experience of my whole life. It was the most validating and exciting and just the most incredible experience. And I think there's a huge disconnect between the entertainers and the people but listen, it's their job to get us money. I get that. But then there's a line drawn where it's like, genuinely thought I shouldn't do it.
Also, it's like if they were to say $250K is the most we'll give you, and I went back and said, I'm walking if you don't give me more, that's one thing. But what happened was they offered me $250, negotiation continued, and they said, never mind. And I'm like, wait, what?
It's so scary.
So the story, it's like a longer story. I'm not going to tell now, but you brought up where I had been meeting with basically a behavioral specialist for a month and was going through this autism stuff, and I got a diagnosis this particular day in the office that I have ASD level 1 autism, Asperger's, blah blah blah. I leave the office 10 minutes later and with a missed call from my lawyer, and I called, who said that they walked. So within 10 minutes, I found out that I was autistic and I lost $250,000. And I handled it like somebody was rescheduling a podcast.
Yes, you did. God bless autism for that reason.
However, that same day, I was dating a girl who had money. And the reason I say that is because she had money.
Sure.
And if she's offering to buy me a meal, there was nothing, like, buy me, that would be great. Put that aside for a second. I found out I was autistic and I lost $250,000, but I never had the $250,000, and I had this idea that maybe I'd be autistic. There was no like, this is it, this is one thing, and then something was changed.
True, it wasn't like a crazy curveball.
However, there was something that was planned, which was that day, it was Sunday, Postmates had a deal that for the Bachelorette, they're doing this thing, free delivery from anywhere. So I knew that I was getting Lucifer's Pizza because it's far away and the delivery is like $12 and it's never worth it. So I'm thinking about this all day. I'm driving home. I could pick up anything, but no, fuck it. I'm getting free delivery.
Correct.
I spend probably 8 minutes, which is not that long of a time, but when you're modifying and please extra this, it took, and I'm doing it, and it shows that there is no free delivery because, and then I read the terms and conditions of this long thing. While supplies last, you can't, then you could deliver, what does while supplies last of free delivery? They just stopped it. So
Wait,
now
supplies, that's an intangible. There's no supply of a
delivery. They were
delivery.
offering a supply of free delivery. This was their contract.
So dumb.
So I am now, I don't want to make this like, it wasn't having a panic attack, but I'm on the floor rocking, reading the terms and conditions.
Do you think it was the other two things that were finally hitting you?
I don't. No, because I've been this way with things. What it was, hey, Rick, you're getting a Lucifer's Pizza, and then someone says, psych, okay?
But they said you were getting $250K, and then they said psych,
It wasn't
and that didn't
$250K.
affect
It was.
you as
That's
much.
where they were. Listen, obviously the $250K matters more. But for whatever reason, in a similar way where like you mitigate expectations, I'll believe it when I see it.
Sure.
But for some reason, I don't need to believe it. I've ordered Postmates. I'm getting a pizza tonight. So I'm on the floor.
Sure.
It
was a guarantee. It was a concrete. You knew it was
I thought it
happening.
was.
Right. Well, it almost objectively was.
But
yeah.
it was taken away that way, right? So my girlfriend at the time says, "Hey, we'll get sushi. I'll buy it." It's like meaning not now. It was going to be free delivery. I'm sorry. I'm yelling. I'm sorry. It was going to be free delivery, but I still have to pay for the pizza. Now, not only am I not paying delivery, I'm getting a free meal. It's not about it's not about my money. It's about it's principle. It's principle, and I made my decision. And
well, it's principle combined with your brain chemistry, because not anybody else. Like I've gone to a restaurant because I have like OCD tendencies and things like this. Though I've never been diagnosed, but I attach myself so tightly and closely to things. I've been super excited about something to eat, and also I have blood sugar things, and I don't eat as in a regimented way, and I let myself get way too hungry all the time. And I've definitely gone to a restaurant, been ready to order something, and they were out of it, and gone to my car and cried.
I want to finish with the point of that, which is...
My nose is running, and I probably look like a cokehead on your podcast.
Do you need me to get you some toilet paper?
No, I have a little, but then I'm like, then I know you're going to zoom in the second I wipe my nose, and you're going to like, and this tissue is obviously...
We'll actually make you even smaller.
This tissue's seen a better day, and like the fact that I'm still using it, and like...
We're going to make you small for this. So,
I can't believe it.
That night, I just lost $250,000 and I found out I was autistic, but I was on the floor not knowing what to do with myself, reading the terms and conditions over the pizza.
I know it.
And that's why it's important to mitigate expectations.
Right.
And I think that's bigger than just, acting.
And that's why the
pizzas.
shamus on the left is just classier. It's just a classier choice.
So the reason I have to go now
Servant.
is because... Oh, check out The Servant on Apple TV. Thank you. The reason I have to go now is because I have oat milk, and I'm intentionally not saying the brand, but we love them in case you're not supposed to do that. But now if I book it, we could have you back on. We could finally cut to your Pure One commercial, and instead we'll cut to the oat milk commercial. And so people understand the reference, I'll show them this clip.
If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll find thousands of choices, including carpet, hardwood, rugs, and luxury vinyl. So make the right choice and visit Marshall Carpet One and Rug Gallery. And we promise, with more than 50 years as a family-owned business, we've got you covered!
And we're back.
You got to send me all those things like today because I have to hurry up and edit this.
I don't know if I have any of them.
You don't know if you have, we need the secret commercial, and there was...
Samsung.
The Samsung one that said how many views?
Oh, no, I don't know. It's 90 seconds long. So
90 seconds. I'll
clip.
show a little piece. All right.
I have to find them.
How was this?
Great. Delightful. What do we do? Say bye or that's it? It just ends.
I don't have it for you. I wanted to, and it would be a great plug for it, but... Oh, no, I mailed it to you, but you haven't gotten it yet. The Not Past at the Comedy Store sweatshirt.
Can't wait. I saw someone else post one, and I was like, there should be one coming. I'm not going to
It's on its way.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for tuning into the one night of TYSO.
All Jew, all the time version of TYSO.
In a little over a week, or already, if you're watching this late, you could check out on Netflix. What's the name of it again?
Oh, Best Leftovers Ever. Streaming on Netflix on 12/30.
Do you have anything else you want to plug that isn't yours but is a friend of yours?
Wilds.
On?
NBC.
Amazon. Jackie, you could check out Jackie Tohn at JackieTohnsFunhouse.net or at JackieTohn. Did you get com yet?
I've always had com. Follow me on Instagram at Jackie Tohn. Org. What bit of yours do you feel like I just ruined? Did I just get calm yet?
No, you didn't ruin anything.
Oh.
I felt like by not saying your real Instagram thing, you felt that you needed to say it.
No, I was
and
actually
I wasn't being
say
a good host.
Oh, no, not at all. I was actually just going to say it because I say it. I think people don't say it all the time. And then you just go like, hey, find me on Insta. What's up?
Scoot. Okay, right now the music is starting. The goblin's having diarrhea on your face. So would you mind reacting to it?
No.
Would you rather piss?
No, I don't want...
A fart?
Maybe piss. No! No! James!
I don't know if Jackie's going to watch this, but we put poop in. It was poop.
James! Put poop?
It's poop.
Scoop doo! Scoot it in doo! Scoop dee! What's the last part? Oh yeah! It's too high.
Perfect. There's the end. The music will go in there. We'll have an end title screen where we have the option of picking 3 videos. The top one will be the newest video, and the bottom 2 will be Jackie's first and second appearance. So if people want more, they know where to go. Jackie, thank you so much for tuning in to Take Your Shoes Off podcast. My name's Rick Glassman.
My name's Jackie Tohn. Thank you so much for coming.
And here we go. 2, 3. Oh, but we already cut to it.
Cut to it.
You know what we'll do? We'll have the music. We'll stop. We'll come back for the explanation. We'll do it again. This time it'll be piss.
No, I did the piss already. You can cut it.
Jackie, I can't thank you enough for...
It really was my pleasure, Ricky.
You know, I didn't have many friends as a kid.
What?
This is the reason. I don't know why it works now. I think it's because I'm verified. I think the only reason I'm able to be this way is because I'm verified and I have a lot of people watching the podcast.
I was here for it before you were verified.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a nice, sweet thing. Hold it a little higher.
Cry, don't
You're
cry.
not covering your face? All right. Scoot doo. So we are. I forgot that I had a present for you for the holiday episode. It was there. It was sitting there the whole time. I forgot to give it to you.
OMG.
It's under the table. Do you see it? I bought this for you. I don't know when, but at least 5 years ago. And
After we broke up?
After we broke up. But it is a real gift. It's nothing. I mean, it's nothing amazing. But I've been meaning to give it to you, and then I forgot about it. You could open, and then when I was moving, I found it again.
I'm so excited.
It's
I love
really
presents.
a little thing, a little tchotchke, but it was something I
love
bought for you
presents.
a long time ago. That's like right up your alley, right? I don't know if it still is.
It's a tiny stone robot head pin who's my best friend, and his name is also James. Can you imagine?
Happy holidays, Jackie. Not just from me, but from the entire TYSO family.
Thank you. I love it.
Check us out next week for our special guest.
We don't know who it is yet.
So put that voiceover in that thing. All right.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh.